The Red String Book, The Power of Protection, Technology for the Soul, Kabbalah. What does that mean to you? Research it up a little bit. I'm halfway through the book. I'm reading little excerpts, different couple pages at a time. Right now we are on the part, judgment can never, but never, befall you unless. The book has been speaking about the Kabbalah as very ancient wisdom, as a resource of technology that can answer everyday lives, give you the answer, the purpose of why we're here. It speaks of the light is always, the energy is always within us. It is just covered by a curtain. It speaks that the curtain is laden and thickened by our ego, the ego from the negativity stance of anger, jealousy, resentment, pessimism, more jealousy, some envy, and that the evil eye can, the stare can take your energy, can make your curtain thicker. And when we can protect ourselves from the evil eye as a tool, and when we can let go of the negative reactions and living from negativity, when we can let go of it for good, the curtain over our light lightens, and the light within us gets brighter, and we're more able to create the joys and blissful life that we've come here to build. It speaks that we were asked to come here. We asked the Creator to let us create, and that we find joy in creating. So now let's talk about the evil eye. The effects of the evil eye. At the end of that chapter, it spoke that a verse in the Kabbalistic meditation refers to a verse, let it be your will that you shall save me from an evil eye. So it's claiming that judgment can never, never befall you unless. Here's a remarkable, profound spiritual truth and universal law. According to Kabbalah, your own actions, sins, and negative behavior can never come back to judge you. According to Kabbalah, your own actions, sins, and negative behavior can never come back to judge you. Your words and confessions can never inflict retribution upon you. The force called God cannot judge you. The cosmos will never penalize you. This is a rock-solid spiritual principle of life. It's pretty incredible, isn't it? And comforting too. My ego is saying, no, that's what? I think it would be comforting if I believed it. According to Kabbalah, your own actions, sins, negative behavior can never come back to judge you. That's a rock-solid principle. Let's see. Haha. How then do you invite so much judgment into your life, right? I guess that's where I was at. It's like, but it comes, but we get it, but we've all lived it. It felt like that's what was happening. Dharma, karma. But it's saying that in the ancient wisdom, Kabbalah, and its technology that it offers us as a tool, it's a rock solid spiritual principle that sins cannot come back to judge us. Yet we know lots of things happen. Okay. To cast an evil eye. Kabbalah says that the world is strategically arranged so that all the people in your life, from your closest friends to your most casual acquaintances, from your dearest family members to strangers who pass you on the street, share sins similar to your own. Here's how it happens. The sins and negative traits of others will be shown to you during the course of your daily life. The moment you choose to pass judgment on those traits, you have pulled the trigger on yourself. In other words, only your words, when spoken against another, can cause a guilty verdict to be rendered on you. Once you cast the evil eye on someone else, you open the door for the evil eye and the forces of reckoning to come upon you. Well, in Bambi, little Thumper's mother had a point. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Right? Okay. As soon as you moment you choose to pass judgment on the negative trait of someone else, you've pulled the trigger on yourself. So when we are feeling much judgment, it's because we have judged others and we have opened that door for judgment to come upon us. How do we reverse that? How do we shut the door? Conversely, if you withhold judgment on a person, then judgment can never befall you. Imagine the possibilities. What a kind, merciful, and forgiving world you could inhabit if you just stopped judging others. Remember this before you judge. I don't consider myself a judging person, but, apparently I am to some degree. So, wow, how do we judge less? It's become part of everyone's life to compare and judge. What a secret. If you'd only known and grasped this universal law before, you think? Well, the milk is already spilled. So it's important to move forward. Put aside the pain you've endured in the past and start focusing on the now. Make up your mind to neutralize your envy, defuse your jealousy, and put an end to all of your justified acts of judgment so you can protect yourself from your own nasty and dastardly deeds. All right. Any judgments that have come upon us, we have apparently opened the door by judging someone's actions, and we need to just endure that pain, call it the past, and we need to move forward and make up your mind to neutralize envy, diffuse jealousy, and put an end to all of your justified acts of judgment. Justified judgments. Sure feels like there's a lot of those out there. The dynamics of the evil eye. The teachings of Kabbalah describe the actual mechanics of the evil eye in meticulous detail. Here's how it works. When an envious look is directed at one person by another, a contraction takes place on the target victim's spiritual level of being. Specifically, the protective energy force that naturally surrounds a person, known as mercy, suddenly pulls back, leaving a void in its wake. Subsequently, an energy force known as judgment, enters the void that's been created. The energy of judgment is a strange thing. It has one purpose and one sole function: to examine everything it encounters strictly and without making any concessions. For example, if someone looks with envy at the parents of a newborn baby and the baby or the baby itself, the protective light that surrounds the infant contracts. A void is created. The energy of judgment is then activated and fills that void. I'm just being hit right now with the thought of envy. It's like someone's looking and they're seeing a beautiful baby, and what's envy? Envy's wishing you could have that. Well, why is that so harmful? Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's do that again. So, for example, if someone looks with envy at the parents of a newborn baby or to the baby itself, the protective light that surrounds the infant contracts. A void is created. The energy of judgment is then activated and fills the void. The scrutinizing force immediately begins to check the balance books and raise questions such as, why did these people receive such a wonderful, healthy baby? This penetrating force will not stop until it finds faults, liabilities, and demerit points in the lives of these people. For that is its sole nature. That is all it knows how to do. And the moment it finds even the smallest infraction, judgments are free to flow to the child. Furthermore, as you learned previously, judgment is also directed against the person who initiated the envious glance in the first place. In essence, everyone loses. It's a classic no-win situation for all concerned. Another little phrase: our envy on others devours us most of all. Wow. Jealousy, negativity. I get it. Envy. I really don't want to envy anybody ever again. And if envy is as simple as wishing I could have what somebody else has, I've opened up a lot of judgment upon myself by wishing to have what someone else has. Isn't that interesting? Have you done that? Have we not all done that? Grass is greener on the other side. How do we take care of that? All right. Where envy lurks. Envy is especially prevalent in today's high-pressure world, in which there's an overwhelming sense of competition and a need to be the best, the richest, the most successful. This atmosphere creates a great deal of insecurity, arousing in many people the sneaking suspicion that perhaps they're not doing as well as they should, or that maybe they're not making as big a splash as the next guy. If you live in an environment such as this and you're doing well, the sad truth is that many people will not be happy about your success, and you in turn aren't likely to be happy about the success of others. Talk about a vicious circle. If someone consciously or subconsciously begrudges your good fortune, it is not necessarily his or her fault. It takes some hard spiritual work, often over the course of a lifetime, before you can experience the good fortune of others as if it were your own. There's one of the little answers. Instead of wishing, oh, I wish I had that, you could just be happy for what they have. Before you can experience the good fortune of others as if it were your own. You're in a vulnerable state when someone close to you succeeds. In fact, the closer you are, the more vulnerable you may be to the feelings of jealousy or anger. It can happen to sisters or brothers or best friends. If you aspire to true prosperity, this kind of negative energy is something you definitely need to be aware of. If you really desire to create a joyful and blissful life here in this universe, this reality, then you'll have to beware of other people's envy or jealousy. The need for protection. Long ago, Kabbalah recognized the need for protection from repercussions of a jealous heart and an envious eye. So the Kabbalah devised a powerful spiritual technology to accomplish this objective on many levels. First, to protect you from the envious look of others, and second, to help you eliminate your own jealousy and the evil eye that you cast toward others. They called this technology the red string. The red string book. We're finally getting to the red string. So the red string is a tool within the Kabbalah, the Kabbalah is an ancient wisdom. It speaks of a resource of energy, of reality, more authentic than the one we're living in now, of the endless world is just filled with bliss and joy, and that we chose to no longer receive all that wonderfulness, and to instead we ask to be creators of the endless world where we create endless joy and bliss for ourselves. We come to the chaos and the dark, and we find the bliss and joy, like a game of hide and seek, something like that. And that in doing that, we need protection as we play our game of hide and seek with our source of energy. The red string. Have you ever seen someone wearing a red string around their left wrist and wondered why they were wearing it? Maybe it was the waitress at your favorite restaurant, your doctor, even a small child. What exactly is the red string? When you ask, they tell you it's all about protection. Protection, you say. Read on. The question is, can the power of spiritual protection actually be transmitted through a simple strand of wool colored red, worn on one's left wrist 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Then again, you might also ask, can movies and television shows actually be transmitted through a simple strand of copper wire connected to the back of the television set 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? The answer to both questions is a resounding yes. Spiritual and physical technologies both work the same way. Here we go. The power of red. Red strings, red blood on the doorposts, the red wine, all mentioned in the Bible in connection with the idea of protection against the forces of death and destruction. Red is a significant color for a number of reasons. It has the lowest frequency on the color spectrum, signifying the lowest level of light or extreme negativity. You're probably wondering, why would you use the most negative color on the lowest frequency of spiritual energy to protect yourself from the forces of negativity? Think about a polio vaccine or a vaccination against whooping cough or any other dreaded disease. When you receive an inoculation against a particular illness, a weakened strand of the actual disease is integrated into the vaccine. Spiritual immunization works in much the same way. The color red injected into the wool string is a diluted strain of negative energy. Thus, it vaccinates you from the destructive negative forces of the evil eye. Yes, it's that simple. It's so far-fetched. It's so far-fetched it makes me laugh. But yet a part of me believes it. I've worn the red string. I get it. But it still makes me laugh. It still makes me, I don't know. But yeah, it's that simple. Why wool? According to Kabbalah, two opposing forces of mercy and judgment permeate the world. According to Zohar, the world spins with judgment and spins with mercy. Yin yang. Pain occurs when there's too much judgment in your life and not enough mercy. When you combine the two, judgment is automatically converted into mercy, because mercy is thus the only true reality, the light behind the curtain. Let's examine the concept further by way of an analogy. Consider a dark room with an unlit lamp. The darkness corresponds to the force of judgment. The potential light from the lamp corresponds to the force of the mercy. Whenever you combine light and darkness, by flipping on the light switch, something profound occurs. The darkness converts into light. But the reverse never takes place. Light never converted into darkness. The power of light. Consider the following. No matter how large a dark room is, even if it's size of 5 football fields, a single candle will convert a portion of the darkness into light. But if a single candle is shining in a tiny room and you increase the amount of darkness in the room by expanding it tenfold, the added darkness has no effect whatsoever on the light. Light always disrupts and converts darkness. But darkness is powerless in the presence of light. This deeply important principle is mirrored in the spiritual world and is the technology underlying the red string. A couple verses here from the Zohar again. Though they be like red crimson, they shall be as white as wool. All judgments become whitened. Though your sins be like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. The power of wool. Everything in this world is a reflection of either the force of mercy or the force of judgment. For example, white blood cells in your body correspond to mercy. They are integral to your immune system, giving you the defense against disease or judgment. They fight infections, create antibodies to attack invaders, provide emergency care to injuries by clotting. Red blood cells, on the other hand, correspond to the force of judgment. If a knife cuts a person, red blood judgment is spilled. White blood cells then respond by clotting to stop the bleeding. Mercy. Long ago in the Zohar, Kabbalists categorized the entire physical world, describing the energetic root of every form of matter in the material realm. Linen, for example, embodies the force of judgment. Wool, on the other hand, embodies the force of mercy. The color white reflects the energy of mercy, while the color red reflects frequency of judgment. Every material item, them Kabbalists were busy. There's a lot of material items in this world. All right. By dyeing white wool, mercy, red, judgment, you physically create the wiring that converts judgment to mercy and darkness to light. This is the process that takes place with the red string. In truth, the string is actually white, not red. That's right. It's pure white wool. But the color red is used to attract and intercept all forces of judgment, streaming from an evil eye, binding it to the string. Now, the transformed white wool string converts judgment into mercy, and you receive your protection. I keep kind of glancing down because I have some red string here. My niece Kaya and I each tied some red string onto us. So we have a few pieces left, and we'll be doing that again. The red string theory. As you can see, the red string I'm going to save this, and we'll see what it says the next time. Red string theory. As you can see, what have we seen? What will we see next? See you later.